survivors rather of sexual violence. What exactly is the NPA being accused of here? Because we've heard the issues before, the low conviction rates, the poor collection of evidence, but what is the MEC specifically pointing to?
Well, just the fact that it's always been a sort of point for when it comes to the NPA for cases that never reaches the end when it comes to domestic violence. But it's just the way that people feel they are being treated, the fact that they don't want to go forward because they feel like they're going through the whole trauma once again because they are not. There's no empathy when it comes to dealing with the victims, especially sexual offences, but also domestic abuse. So it's just the way how women and children are, in a general sense, being treated. Once they do take legal action, it is like they're going through the whole trauma once again.
Now, of course, the MEC, being somebody who then is highlighting the concerns that have been raised by the survivors of victim, is not necessarily speaking as an ordinary member of the public. There's a certain amount of power that she holds. So what is she going to be doing in terms of engaging the necessary structures to bring about change? Because these are things that, again, we've heard before.
Yeah. Well, she did have a meeting with both the local police and the NPA before the whole launch of this centre. So she made it clear, and during her speech before, after the meeting as well, that there is challenges that needs to be addressed. That's why those empowerment centre is a one-stop shop where they can make sure that you get the legal services and support as well, the medical support, evidence, calling the police, making sure that you're safe. That's the way she's trying to engage the challenges. But she says that she will have to continue speaking to specifically the NPA and specifically the police about how you treat these women once they actually have the courage to speak out.
How different is the centre going to operate from the process that one has to undergo if they have been subjected to abuse or violence of any kind?
What makes this centre so special, basically, even though it's the second one as well, is the fact that if a victim wants to speak out and she's scared that something's going to happen, they can then take her out of the house or out of the community where the offender is, and then she can stay at this centre for up to 7 months while they are providing all support. So, as I've mentioned, legal support, medical support, even helping them taking their kids to school, as well as skills development, which is a clip I do have from the MEC, making it so important that if they do then feel ready to leave that centre, then they can stand on their own 2 feet.
Once they're here, we assist them to be independent. One of the things that we do is we give them skills that they can allow them to be employed, or can actually assist them to be employable. And when they're employable or they are employed, they are able to secure their own accommodation. We don't want our clients to be too dependent, you know. Remember, they're not disabled people. Even disabled people, you want them to be independent. So we encourage independence from the first day you enter the center. So we work from backwards, that you must actually know that at some point you must be on your own and be able to live a normal life like any other person.
Yanka, I can't help but think that the model that is being explored here is very similar to that of the Ikhaya Latemba Witness Protection Center that the department has in the Joburg City Center in Braamfontein.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is basically the second one. So they started with the one in Braamfontein, and they said that they saw that it had a massive positive impact on women. They had constantly women coming through there. They were able to assist the rape victims of the quantum rape case that we heard of that was in court just recently. They were able to assist all of them. So because it is really community-based, they decided to move to Evaton for the second one, and they're also talking about a third one in Ekurhuleni where they say that that's going to be the next one. So it's basically bringing everything together, because if you are a victim, you don't want to have to go through 1 million points because it's traumatizing and it's exhausting. So they want to make sure that these people are safe, that their families, if they have children, are looked after, and that they can then make sure that they do follow through the process of this, or the legal process at the end of the day, because everything is at their disposal.
So just for a point of clarity, because Ikhala Temba, the women that are there have court cases that are already underway. So it's almost limited to those who are actively engaged in the legal system. Will that criteria then also be used for this centre in Sedibeng, or is anyone allowed to come? And how do they plan on managing those numbers?
Well, I have to say that they can house up to 72 people at this centre, but hopefully up to just 7 months. But basically, they said anyone who, a woman, a child, anyone from the LGBTI community, an aged person, if they feel like their life is being threatened and they need help, they can literally go to the centre without anything but the clothes on their back, and they will be assisted. And then, if it is possible, with the legal processes that will obviously follow.
Well, it certainly is a fantastic initiative. Yanka Tomoy was out in Sedibeng tracking that story for us.